Hi there, this is the second episode of Just a Jeju Girl, and I'm so happy that you came back again. It's been a week that I've posted the first episode of this podcast, and I shared it with my friends, and I was so happy that a few people have listened to me and share some ideas, and I just felt like now I'm finally doing the thing that I really wanted to do, and that made me feel really, really great. Like, I think it's been a while that I've felt this way, and yeah, thank you. So, today's topic is like what's written on title. It's called Korean Work Ethic. Are we really working too much? And it's been a while I've been thinking about this topic, like on my own, not just about the podcast. I think I've been thinking about this a lot. Since I have some international friends, whenever I talk about my work, I realise that like I am comparatively working a lot compared to my peers like around the world. I know some people from Finland, Sweden, England, Singapore, France, what else? There was more. Japan, of course, and Switzerland. So, cause like every time I talk to them, I realise that I am working a lot, and maybe because of my field that I'm working. I studied architecture, and I am working in architecture field till now, and like architecture / construction, and like what is called MEP design, which means mechanical engineering, piping design. So it's part of architecture. So and that means most of my peer friends will be also working in that industry, because I've studied architect, and many friends of mine also, those are the people I met in the uni. And yeah, like compared to the other industry, to other people who works outside of the industry that are working here, I do feel like my friends and I work a lot. It is very common to see people in our industry overworking till like late mornings. I'm not even talking about nights. You work until like 1 a.m, 2 a.m, 3 a.m. Can be more. Like, I've done that. There is a term called choya in Korean, which means you basically stay up all night and without sleeping. Well, you might kind of doze off because you're incredibly sleepy and tired, and you kind of have no choice to kind of fall asleep because you're human. I've done that. So like I have experience of like coming to work at 9 a.m, of course, and then finish work till next noon, like 12 a.m. or 1 p.m. perhaps. And then people will let me leave for lunch or something. That there is a term called chora, which means that. I don't know if that kind of word exists in English, but I asked my friend who is a native English speaker, and she said there's none, and I believe there's not. But if there is, please send me a comment or like give me an email. Anyway, I've done staying up all night and working till the next mornings quite multiple times actually since I got into this company. And to be honest, because I knew the nature of this industry, it is inevitable to overwork or like stay up all night till the mornings. Is inevitable if I'm really like really determined to work in this industry, because I've done that since I was like the first grade of the uni, like first year of university, and I've been living like that for 5 years, because 5 years course, the architecture course is 5 years in Korea, and yeah, I've been doing that for 5 years, and that was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it was alright. It was capable. No, it was absolutely draining. I remember I was always sleep deprived, always wanting to have like a regular sleeps, but it's impossible if you really want to reach that goal of like making up to deadline. So because I'm so used to that, I wasn't like unhappy about that lifestyle, even though I work until like the next mornings and like overworking almost every day, because I knew this is what it's going to be. And it didn't matter to me because I liked working. And honestly, I felt it better if I had loads of work. If I had, like, for example, this might sound bizarre to you, but my July was packed with work. Literally packed with work. I don't remember a single weekend to fully take a rest from Saturday to Sunday. I always had like one day off and just one day of work. Like, for example, if you're gonna work on Saturdays, then you will get a day off on Sunday. But it can be vice versa. You will take a day off on Sunday, but you work on Saturday. So I've never had a single weekend to fully like rest as a weekend. Remember, it is weekend. Like you're supposed to take a rest on weekends, which is so obvious. But I have lived that life for that month, and of course you will overwork on weekdays, and I've been living like that. And after July, so since August and September, I barely overworked. My boss, like, especially told us to don't overwork, because you guys been overworking far too much in July. You got to kind of get a grip with your body conditions, whatever. And I found it incredibly shocking to find out about myself that I wasn't that stressed. I wasn't that like that much energy drained. Of course I was tired. Of course I really wanted to have like a full weekend, but I didn't feel like I wasn't happy. I didn't feel like I was desperately wanting to get the day off, because I knew my responsibility, right? I knew I had to work, and I liked the job so much. I loved the job so much. I loved the feeling that I'm distributing and contributing to this company and all this project, even just a little bit. And yeah, because of that, I wasn't unhappy or I wasn't unsatisfied. However, I felt like I was living the life when I was overworking. That sounds bizarre. Yes. From the now I said it loud, vocally. Now I know that I was in a quite weird position at that time. But anyways, so compared to July, I had the most peaceful month on August, right? I had a very peaceful August, physically. But I found myself that I wasn't entirely happy, even though I had like a normal schedule. Like, I was having the normal 9 to 6 hour work, and I was having the normal full weekend. But somehow it felt weird. And yes, I was happy that I was able to like sleep for like 15, 16 hours on weekends, and you can like so sleep till like 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. on Saturday morning, and same with Sunday mornings. But I started to feel quite empty since like 3 p.m. of Saturday afternoon. And that was really shocking for me. I find it really shocking about myself. I thought I was such a sleep lover. Like, I was that kind of child. I was that kind of teenager who can sleep like 20 hours, who just adored sleep. But after I become an adult, and after I really began to have like a corporate job and starting to have like full-time job, I realized that I felt like I was addicted to work. It doesn't mean that I was addicted to money. Like, money doesn't really feel like, oh, this is the reason I'm working. Like, psychologically, yes, it is a reason that we're working most of the times, but it wasn't like priority reason for me to work this much, right? And if I really was that desperate to have money, if I was that in love with money itself, then I would rather choose another industry, honestly. So, yeah, I just found myself, I was genuinely addicted, or maybe like, don't know, obsessed with the fact that I felt alive. I felt I was deserved to have a rest, or I felt I became my existence to be loved or deserved while I was working. And that contributed me to overwork this year. And now I can't say it, but on September, I also had like a secondary job for a month. I taught grown-ups, sometimes like high school students, an English lesson. I did some English lessons for a month. It wasn't like proper English lesson, but it was more like you kind of help people to talk in English and debate in English, and help them if they are kind of confused or if they're lost. And I would tell them, this means this, and it's better to say this way, or yeah, something like that. And that meant if I finish work at 6 p.m, that means I can go to a neighborhood which is like 30 or 40 minutes away from where I'm working right now. So I take the subway, which takes like I said, 30-40 minutes to get there, and I arrive, and I have my packed dinner, which it's crazy because I also packed lunch also. That means in the mornings I would pack my lunch and dinner at the same time for that day. So if I finish work at 6 p.m, I would go to that private institute where you teach English and stuff, and then have my packed dinner, because I wasn't able to afford a dinner like outside the restaurant, and also I don't really like eating outside. So yeah, so after I have my packed dinner, I would obviously start teaching. It's kind of embarrassing to say this, because I'm even now I'm not fully comfortable or confident with my English skills. So I just felt like I wasn't enough, but still, this is one of the skills that I can kind of make money with. So I started that, and I was doing that like on the weekdays, except a couple of days I would work there after my major work, the architecture, and then of course I would work on weekends. So that means I remember I used to teach at least 10 hours a week during that time. So yeah, can you imagine? Now I know it's crazy, but at the time I was so desperate for my financial issue, and I only was able to feel that I'm enough when I'm working. And that's kind of sad, but that's how I felt. And right now, now I'm deployed in another region of Gyeonggi-do, which is suburb area of Seoul, to design MEP system, the mechanical electricity and piping design system in a semiconductor plant. And it's a totally new job industry that I never even imagined I would do it. So, which means I will have less of work I've done once during this month. So that's very, very, very little compared to the last one, the last time I worked in the Seoul company. So compared to that, like, I'm literally living the normal life. I barely overwork, and things look great. Like, since this is the first time to actually work in this industry, there are many questions, there are many uncertainty, of course, but time-wise, schedule-wise, things are great. And I started to look back about my life back in Seoul and realize how overworking me and my co-workers were. And they are still overworking right now. I keep seeing the alarm from the messenger in my work. I keep seeing the alarms, which shows that they are still working. It's 8:23 in Korea, and they're still working. It's a Friday night. Can you imagine? I mean, I would have been there if I was still in Seoul. Yeah. Anyway, so during this month, I started to kind of think deeply about, does Koreans working that much? Like, a lot of people, or a lot of news videos, like YouTube videos from Korean news, saying that Koreans are always like far too overworking. And you might know about the notorious birth rate in Korea. It's one of the lowest. We have one of the lowest birth rates in the world. I know, like, Chile and Hong Kong and Singapore is also kind of following us. It's never a thing to be proud of, but they are really following us. But still, I'm kind of sure that we are still the lowest. Actually, I might ask ChatGPT, like, which country has the lowest birth rate in the world. And let's see the answer. I'm kind of assuming it's Korea. Oh yeah, it is. Come on. Wow. I'm so proud. I asked ChatGPT about what is the top 10 countries that has lowest birth rate. And God. So on the list, of course, South Korea is the lowest. But it's not like country, like every country, I believe, because it says like sovereign. So it's for sovereign countries like Hong Kong and Macau. So they've included that. So yes, we are the top. We rank first, South Korea, 0.75, and it says the reason for that is driving by high living costs, career focus, and delayed marriages. Government incentives have yielded minor rebounds. Wow, that hurts, because it's so true. And I think most of the times the reason for that is, the major reason for it is delayed marriages. Like in Korea, if you say you're gonna get married in your 20s, it means that you're pregnant. I believe, like, I'm 27 now, and if I say I'm gonna get married as a 27-year-old woman, then most of the people react like, right, are you sure? And they'll ask, like, are you pregnant or something? And it's that bizarre. Like, getting married at 20 something it's kind of strange in Korea right now, especially in Seoul. It can be kind of okay or common if you're in the countryside, like many countries. Like countrysides tends to marry quite early compared to cities, which is obvious. And yeah, we rank first. South Korea 0.75. Oh my god. So one woman in Korea only gives birth to 0.075 babies, which means, yeah, like very few people give birth right now in Korea, and this hurts a lot. Like I knew we would rank first, but seeing the whole data as South Korean, it hurts really. And I can definitely relate to the reasons that ChatGPT has described, which means driven by high living cost, career focus, and delayed marriages, and give government incentives. And what are you gonna do? I assume that government right now has the whole burden of having the lowest birth rate in the world. But anyways, if you're wondering, so first one, South Korea, yay, and second, Taiwan, like 0.87. So that's also quite shocking. And Singapore, which I already knew. And fourth, Ukraine. Yes, of course, because they're in the war. And it's so shocking that South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, which could be one of those safest country in the world. And it doesn't mean that we have the safest environment to raise a kid, but still it is notably known as one of the safest country in the world. But Ukraine, we're giving less birth to a country which is in the war, on the war. And yeah, it is shocking. And fifth, China, that's also a bit, I knew they were kind of having less and less kids, and they're kind of struggling with less people. I've noticed that China doesn't have the largest population in the world anymore. It's India right now, apparently. So fifth, China. Sixth, Japan. Seventh, Italy. Italy is also unexpected. Eighth, Spain. And so interesting, it says the reason Spain is having a low birth rate, it means it says economic uncertainty and youth employment. And the ninth, Greece. It's unexpected to see all the Southern European countries struggling. Well, I'm not the one to say this because I'm South Korean, but you know. And fifth, Poland. Also kind of expected. And yeah, why I'm talking about this? Oh, I just wanted to say, I think one of the reasons that people are having less kids is because we're working too much. It's perfectly 100% my personal opinion as a Korean citizen. But because I'm 27, single, not married, no kid, I'm okay because I have no family, I have no kid to be responsible of. But still, I really can't imagine, like every time I come back home overworked or like staying up all night and come back exhausted, I always wonder, well, I'm alright because I have no family to give food on the table. But how can you handle this life if you have a kid? Even if you're married, like you're not gonna see your partner most of the times, right? And I really can't imagine having this kind of life while I'm a parent. And I know that I will not be able to like comfortably say, oh, I can't make up to 9 a.m. this morning because my baby's sick. Or I wouldn't able to say, I wouldn't be comfortably say that I want a maternity leave for a couple of months. And yeah, there are lot of aspects and a lot of elements that just like are contributing the low birth rate in Korea, but still I believe the major issue is about the working environment in Korea. I think we're definitely working a lot, and I really can't imagine working like this as a parent, and that kind of led me to search whether we are objectively a working country. And that also asked ChatGPT about what is the most, like, which country works the most? Like, simple question. And the list was quite expected. Like, I think people would have imagined, like, expected, like, Singapore, Hong Kong, Korea, India. I know Indians are overworking, like, so much, but surprisingly, first one was Bhutan. Aren't they, like, very Buddhist country in the world? Anyway, it says Bhutan people. How do you call them? Bhutanian? Is it okay to say this? Anyways, like, people from Bhutan, they work average 54 hours a week. And, God. And the second is United Arab Emirates, 50.9 weekly hours. And third is Lesotho. Fourth, Republic of Congo. Fifth, Sudan, Cambodia, Bangladesh, Maldives, Mongolia, and Jordan. Those countries were really, really unexpected. And I really don't know what contributed to that rankings. And wow. So it says the key insights of this data is that global trends that says developing Asian and African nations dominate due to informal economies and limited regulations. High-income countries like Germany or Netherlands average under 1,400 annual hours, prioritizing a work-life balance. Okay, and they also kind of noted that India's position, which says ranks 30th weekly, but 51% of workers exceeding 49 hours. 51% of workers exceeding 49 hours, second highest globally for prolonged hours. Okay, like, I think the reason I know that India is incredibly a hard-working country is that I once had a chat with Indian friend. She wasn't even a friend, like, we literally have met for the first time, and we talked about each other's country, and quite randomly we started to talk about the working environment in each other country, and I talked about Korea, we're always overworking, and it seems like that's the reason people are not having babies anymore. And she said, like, in India it's even worse. Like, if a person goes to work, you never know. So you know when that person is going to leave to work, but you never know when they're going to come back. Which, and that made me kind of, like, observe, like, that really made me shocked, because, like imagine, like, you know the time we're going to leave work, but you never know that person is going to come back. And that saying made me realise, yeah, we're not the worst of all of the countries in the world. And like, we're not even in the 10th, we're not even among the 10 countries that is overworking, like, objectively overworking by data. But still, I can't stop thinking that we really have so less holidays. We have so less holidays. And if you're a full-time job worker, it's almost impossible to have like a full 2 weeks or 1 week holiday during the year. And I just can't believe that people had to live like this for decades and decades. And again, it's all right if you're single, if you have no parent, like if you have no one to take care of at home, but can't imagine living like this after I become a parent, or if I have a partner at home. And I just can't stop thinking about, we're really working too much. Like for example, when I see a vlog by American or European YouTubers, and they always kind of start working at 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. and they always finish work at 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. even. And in Korea, I barely saw a corporate that finished work less than 6 p.m. Maybe 5 p.m. because they'll work from 8 a.m. So I don't know what made them to work less than us while they're also making a great result of their work every day. And now I realize that just because the amount of value that you're pouring in to your work doesn't always come with the same result. Like just because you're working like 10 hours or 12 hours a day doesn't mean that you're going to work according to how long you're going to work. You know what I mean? So the efficiency isn't going to last because you're always going to be tired and you're always going to be conscious about, I'm going to overwork. So I'll just not be in a hurry because I know I'm going to overwork anyway. I had that moment of like, because I'm going to overwork today, because I'm going to overwork until 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. tonight. I don't really have to be in a rush in the mornings, do I? And that leads to a low efficiency. And it's a very vicious cycle, isn't it? In order to finish work early, that means you have to work very efficiently. You always have to you have to be focused on that work intensely in order to finish work quickly. But since you know in your head, you know that we already determined to work till 9 p.m, 10 p.m, you kind of lose focus a lot. And that leads to low efficiency, and that leads to, again, longer working hour. And, I don't know what, because I've only worked in Korea, right? I really want to ask this to someone who's been working in multiple countries, and will it be that, because that people like objectively compare what working environment was in that country compared to Korea, and kind of know exactly the right issue, the exact reason why we're overworking, or we're really overworking objectively even. So yeah, I'm curious about that. If you're listening and you're Korean or another foreigner who have also worked in Korea and other multiple countries and knows this answer, please give me email. Like, are we really working a lot? I know that objectively we have so less holidays. I guarantee that. I know that. I acknowledge that. But, objectively. And what is the reason exactly? Why are you working this much? And I know that if I become a parent in the future, I think I'm gonna always ask about why am I overworking this much while not being able to see my kids like more than 3 hours a day. And yeah, so these are things I've been thinking about since I started working in the corporate job as a full-time job worker. And I don't know, like, if you want to share your ideas, or if you want to share your experience as a full-time job worker in many countries, like wherever you are, please share your ideas. And I think I'll keep updating about my thoughts about work anyways, because to me, like, work means a lot. Like, work means most of my life right now, at least right now. And I'm one of those people who believes that the job that you're doing right now almost means everything in life. Like, I'm not those kind of people who thinks job is only for money making. I highly despise that idea. Work should be something that make you feel that you are improving. Work should be something that makes you grow up mentally and skill-wise. So yeah, I'm not one of those people who only thinks work is only for money. So I think that's why I keep asking myself about my worth ethic and career worth ethic. And that's why I can't stop like observing my co-workers or people around me, and what kind of job do they have, and what kind of work ethic they have. And I think when it comes to making friends or dating, to me, the person who has a great work ethic is a great like distributor for me to be attracted to them, no matter of gender or age. Like, if they seem really passionate with their job, or if they really have like healthy, great, wonderful work ethic, that's a huge part that I'll be attracted to. So yeah, if you have any like opinions or ideas, please send me email or like comment. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope I can see you next week. Like, if you're gonna be there, I will come with another idea to talk about, or any other like news that I can talk about. So yeah, thanks for listening, and I really hope that you're gonna have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Okay, bye. Thank you.